The courtroom doors swing open at exactly 10:00 a.m. on an ordinary Tuesday in Providence, Rhode Island. The clerk, Miss Reyes, calls everyone to rise as Judge Frank Caprio, a man whose reputation for fairness precedes him, enters and takes his seat at the bench. "Next case," Judge Caprio says, settling into his chair. Miss Reyes glances at her docket. Case 2025 TR 9826, The City versus Ethan Ward. A young man in expensive clothing approaches the bench. Ethan Ward is 23 years old, radiating the kind of confidence that comes from never hearing the word no. He pulls a folded traffic citation from his pocket, examines it with visible contempt, and then does something extraordinary. He tosses it onto the bench like a cocktail napkin at a country club. "Here," Ethan says dismissively. "My dad pays your salary." Let's make this quick. The courtroom freezes. Officer D'Angelo, standing near the door, straightens. Miss Reyes stops typing mid-keystroke. Two spectators in the back row exchange shocked glances. In this moment, everyone except Ethan Ward understands that something significant is about to happen. Judge Caprio's voice cuts through the silence, calm, measured, surgical. "Pick that up." "Excuse me," Ethan responds, genuinely confused. "The citation." "Pick it up and hand it to the clerk properly." Ethan stares at the judge. 3 seconds pass, then 5, then 7. "Perhaps your father will pay for your lesson too," Judge Caprio says quietly. "Money can buy cars, Mr. Ward. It cannot buy character." The young man hesitates, then retrieves the citation and places it on the clerk's desk without a word. His jaw tightens. His confidence is cracked, but not yet shattered. Miss Reyes clears her throat and reads the formal charges: reckless driving in congested traffic, verbal harassment of another driver, and disorderly conduct in the courtroom for throwing the citation. "Mr. Ward, do you have legal representation today?" Judge Caprio asks. A woman in a navy suit stands. "Olivia Tran, defense counsel for Mr. Ward, Your Honor." "Miss Tran, is your client prepared to address these charges?" "Your Honor, we're prepared to pay all applicable fines immediately and close this matter today." Judge Caprio sets his pen down deliberately. "Courtrooms don't take tips, Miss Tran. We'll review the evidence. Sit down." The attorney hesitates, then complies. The judge opens the file before him. "There's a notation here, Mr. Rowe. Ward received a prior traffic warning 6 months ago for aggressive lane changes near the Thayer Street exit. No citation issued. Officer's discretion. Mr. Ward, do you remember that stop?" Ethan shrugs vaguely. "It was nothing." "Nothing. So you learned nothing." Judge Caprio closes the folder. "The prior warning is entered as pattern context. It won't be used as independent basis for punishment, but it shows this isn't your first time driving like the road belongs to you. Mr. Ward, walk me through what happened on the morning of October 22nd. Ethan shifts his weight. "I was driving on Main Street. Traffic was heavy. Some old guy in a beat-up Honda cut me off. I honked. He brake-checked me. So I went around him and taught him a lesson." "Taught him a lesson? Explain what that means." "I got in front of him and slowed down. Let him know he can't just cut people off." "You don't teach lessons from behind a horn, Mr. Ward. You escalated a traffic situation into harassment. What happened next?" "He pulled over. I kept going, then a cop pulled me over like I did something wrong." Judge Caprio makes a note. "You kept going, but Officer Vega's report says you shouted something at the other driver before leaving. What did you shout?" Ethan glances at his attorney. She nods slightly. He exhales. "I might have said something like, 'Learn to drive, Grandpa.'" "Grandpa?" "Yeah, or something like that." Judge Caprio picks up a witness statement. Henry Cole, the other driver, is a 78-year-old retired Navy veteran. He says you called him Grandpa Traffic and told him to retire his car. Is that accurate?" "I don't remember exactly. I was mad." You were mad. So you mocked an elderly veteran for driving too slowly in congested traffic. Ethan doesn't answer. Judge Caprio gestures to Officer D'Angelo. Call Officer Rafael Vega to the stand. Officer Vega enters, raises his right hand, swears in, and takes his seat. He's in his mid-30s with a calm demeanor and crisp uniform. Officer Vega, you responded to the incident on Main and Elm on October 22nd. Please describe what you observed. Yes, Your Honor. At approximately 10:09 a.m., I was on patrol westbound on Main Street when I observed a silver Audi sedan aggressively cut in front of an older Honda Civic near the intersection of Elm. The Audi driver then reduced speed significantly, forcing the Honda to brake hard. The Honda pulled to the curb. The Audi driver leaned out his window and shouted something I couldn't fully hear, then accelerated away. I initiated a traffic stop 3 blocks later. What was the defendant's demeanor during the stop? Dismissive, Your Honor. He stated the other driver cut him off first and that he was teaching him a lesson. When I asked for his account, he said, "Old guy should learn when to get off the road." I informed him that reckless driving and verbal harassment are both violations. He laughed and said, "Good luck with that." Judge Caprio pauses. Officer Vega, did you interpret his tone as threatening or mocking? Mocking, Your Honor. He treated the stop like an inconvenience he could dismiss. Let's hear it. Officer Harris, cue the body cam audio. Just the relevant section. There's a brief hiss of static. Then Ethan's voice emerges, sharp and dismissive. Old guy should learn when to get off the road. Good luck with that. Judge Caprio lets the silence sit for 5 full seconds. Mr. Ward, did you make that statement to Officer Vega? I was frustrated. That's not a denial. Did you say it? Yeah. Good luck with that. What did you mean by that? Nothing. Just words. Words mean something, Mr. Ward. Officer Vega interpreted it as mockery. I interpret it as contempt for lawful authority. Judge Caprio turns to the clerk. Miss Reyes, the file mentions security camera footage from the intersection. Do we have that ready? Yes, Your Honor. Loaded and ready to play. Show it now. Full sequence, no editing. The courtroom monitor flickers on. The timestamp reads 10:08:47 a.m. The camera angle shows Main Street looking east toward Elm. Traffic is moderate. A silver Audi is visible in the left lane. An older Honda is in the right lane, signaling to merge left. At 10:08:52, the Audi accelerates and cuts sharply in front of the Honda, forcing it to brake hard. The Honda's brake lights flash. The Audi slows deliberately, almost to a crawl. The Honda brakes again. At 10:09:01, the Honda pulls to the curb. The Audi pulls alongside. The driver's window rolls down. Ethan leans out. His mouth moves. Henry Cole sits motionless, hands on the wheel. At 10:09:09, the Audi accelerates and leaves the frame. Judge Caprio lets the footage run for 3 more seconds in silence, then nods to Miss Reyes. She stops the playback. The courtroom is utterly quiet. Cameras don't take sides, Judge Caprio says. They take truth. He looks at Ethan. Mr. Ward, the footage shows you cutting in front of Mr. Cole's vehicle, forcing him to brake twice, then pulling alongside to shout at him before leaving. Does that match your memory? Ethan's face is pale. I guess. You guess. The footage is clear. Yes or no? Did you cut in front of his car? Yes. Did you slow down deliberately to block him? I was making a point. Yes or no? Yes. Did you shout at him before driving away? Yes. Judge Caprio picks up another document. Miss Reyes, there's a notation in the file about phone contact prior to this hearing. Can you read that into the record? Miss Reyes flips to a marked page. Yes, Your Honor. 2 phone calls and 1 voicemail received from a number registered to Ward Global Holdings legal office. First call logged at 8:17 a.m. on October 23rd. Second call at 11:42 a.m. on October 24th. Voicemail left at 3:09 p.m. on October 24th. Play the voicemail. A professional male voice fills the courtroom. Smooth, controlled, practiced. This message is for the Providence Municipal Court regarding case 2025 TR 9826. This is Ward Global Holdings Legal Office. We're calling on behalf of Gordon Ward regarding his son's traffic matter. Mr. Ward requests that this citation be dismissed administratively before it proceeds to a formal hearing. Please contact our office at your earliest convenience to arrange resolution. The voicemail ends. Judge Caprio looks at Ethan. Mr. Ward, did you ask your father to have his legal office call this court? I told him I got a ticket. I didn't tell him to call. But you expected him to. Ethan doesn't answer. Influence arrived before remorse did, Judge Caprio says quietly. He picks up another sheet. Miss Reyes, there's also a text message screenshot submitted by Officer Vega. It was visible on the defendant's phone screen during the traffic stop. Mr. Ward gave verbal consent for it to be photographed as part of the incident report. Can you read it? Yes, Your Honor. Text message sent from Ethan Ward's phone to a contact labeled Marcus. Timestamp 10:37 a.m., October 22nd. Message reads, Some old vet blocked me on Main. Gave him a lecture, got pulled over, but Dad's team will fix it. All good. Ethan's jaw clenches. Judge Caprio leans forward. Let me map this for you, Mr. Ward. Incident at 10:09. Officer stops you at 10:12. Citation issued at 10:31. You text Marcus at 10:37, 6 minutes after the citation, and you're already confident your father's team will fix it. First call from your father's legal office arrives the next morning. Someone moved very fast. I didn't ask him to. You didn't have to. You told Marcus not to worry because your dad would handle it. That's not confidence in your innocence, Mr. Ward. That's confidence in your father's intervention. Judge Caprio studies the young man before him. I'm going to ask you 3 yes or no questions. Did you drive recklessly by cutting off Henry Cole's vehicle and deliberately slowing to block him? Ethan hesitates. Yes. Did you verbally harass Mr. Cole by calling him Grandpa Traffic and telling him to retire his car? Yes. Did you throw your citation at this bench and tell me your father pays my salary? 5 seconds pass. 7, 10, 12. Yes. Those 12 seconds, Judge Caprio says, were how long it took for entitlement to collapse under the weight of truth. He leans back. Mr. Ward, I've noticed something. When you brag, you're 23, old enough to mock a veteran, old enough to dismiss a police officer, old enough to throw paper at a judge. But when you're asked to explain yourself, you're suddenly 13. I was mad, I was frustrated, I didn't mean it. You're 23 when you boast, 13 when you apologize. Pick one. Ethan stares at the floor. Which one are you today, Mr. Ward? 23. Then, answer like it for the rest of this hearing. Judge Caprio opens his bench book. Here are my findings. The evidence is overwhelming and internally consistent. Officer Vega's body cam audio confirms your dismissive statements. Security camera footage confirms you cut off Henry Cole's vehicle, blocked him deliberately and shouted at him before fleeing. Your own text message confirms you expected your father's intervention. The call log confirms that intervention was attempted within hours. Your admissions on the stand confirm every element of the charges. He pauses. This court does not weigh cases based on family wealth or corporate influence. Arrogance is a luxury no law accepts. The base fines total $980. Reckless driving in congested traffic, $450. Verbal harassment of another driver, $330. Disorderly conduct in courtroom, $200. Ethan exhales sharply. However, Judge Caprio continues, I'm suspending $400 of that total, contingent on your full and timely completion of a restorative accountability plan. If you complete it with integrity, that portion is waived. If you don't, it's reinstated in full, and you'll owe the complete $980. He looks directly at Ethan. Here's what the plan requires. First, you will deliver a public apology to Henry Cole in person, not through your attorney, not through your father's office. You will meet him face to face if he agrees to see you. You will apologize in your own words and explain what you learned. Second, you will complete 200 hours of community service with the City Veteran Support Office. You'll assist with outreach, transportation coordination, and benefits navigation. No press coverage, no photo opportunities, no press releases from Ward Global Holdings. Just work. Third, you will deliver 3 public service talks to young drivers at local high schools on the topic of respect on the road. You'll explain what happened, what you did wrong, and what you learned. Fourth, you will write, produce, and submit a court-approved short film titled Respect on the Road. The film will be no less than 3 minutes, no more than 5. It will feature real young drivers discussing road courtesy, the dangers of aggressive driving, and respect for elderly drivers. You will appear in the film and narrate your own experience. Fifth, you will submit a 1,000-word written reflection titled Status Can't Signal Kindness. It will address what you learned, how your conduct affected Henry Cole, and what changes you'll make going forward. Judge Caprio looks up. Mercy isn't soft, Mr. Ward. It's strategic. I'm giving you an opportunity to prove that people can learn. Don't waste it. 6 weeks pass. Ethan Ward begins his community service at the City Veterans Support Office on a cold Monday morning in late November. He arrives at 8 a.m. sharp. No driver, no entourage, just Ethan in jeans and a plain sweatshirt. The office coordinator, a retired Army sergeant named Carol Jennings, hands him a clipboard. You'll be answering phones, scheduling rides, and filing benefits paperwork. No shortcuts, no excuses. Understood. Understood. Week 1. Ethan answers phones. Schedules 3 veteran transport appointments. Carol notes he's polite and on time. Week 3. 16 hours logged. He assists with benefits navigation for 2 veterans and asks thoughtful questions about VA processes. Week 7. 56 hours total. He helps coordinate Thanksgiving meal delivery to 14 homebound veterans and stays 2 extra hours without being asked. Week 12. 120 hours total. He leads a workshop on digital literacy for elderly veterans, learning to use VA online portals. One veteran, Franklin Morris, tells Carol, "That young man has patience I didn't expect." On a Tuesday afternoon in early December, Ethan meets Henry Cole for the first time since the incident. The meeting is arranged through the court, held at a neutral location, a community center conference room. Carol Jennings is present as a witness. Ethan stands when Henry enters. Henry is 78, thin, wearing a navy baseball cap and a worn jacket. He walks slowly with a cane and sits across from Ethan. "Mr. Cole," Ethan begins, his voice quiet, "I'm here to apologize for what I did on Main Street. I cut you off. I blocked you. I called you Grandpa Traffic and told you to retire your car. I treated you like you were in my way instead of someone who earned the right to drive on that road long before I was born. You're a veteran. You served this country, and I mocked you for driving carefully in heavy traffic. I'm sorry." Henry studies him for a long moment. "You meant it when you said it." "Yes, sir, I did." "Why'd you mean it?" Ethan hesitates. "Because I thought I was more important than you. Because I was in a hurry and I didn't see you as a person. Just an obstacle. And now I know better. I've spent the last 12 weeks working with veterans at the support office. I've heard stories. I've met people who sacrificed more than I'll ever understand. I was arrogant. I'm sorry." Henry nods slowly. "I accept your apology. But understand this. Respect isn't something you give when it's convenient. It's something you give because people deserve it, especially people who've earned it. Yes, sir. Henry stands and extends his hand. Ethan shakes it. Carol Jennings writes in her log, "Apology delivered, December 8th, witnessed." Henry Cole's response, "He apologized like a man, not a brand." January arrives. Ethan delivers his first public service talk at Hope High School. 94 students, ages 16 to 18, sit in the auditorium. Ethan stands at a podium with no notes. "My name is Ethan Ward. 6 months ago, I cut off an elderly veteran in traffic, mocked him, and then threw my citation at a judge. I'm here to tell you what I learned." He tells them about Henry Cole, about the security footage, about the 12 seconds of silence in court when he admitted what he'd done, about the 200 hours at the Veteran Support Office. "I thought being in a hurry gave me the right to bully someone off the road. It doesn't. I thought my last name meant I didn't have to follow the same rules. It doesn't. Respect on the road isn't optional. It's mandatory." A student raises her hand. "Did your dad try to get you out of it?" His legal office called the court twice. The judge put the calls on the public record and told me influence arrived before remorse did. That was the truth. Ethan submits his short film script in mid-February. The court rejects it within 48 hours. Too vague, lacks specific accountability. He rewrites it. The second draft is approved on March 1st. The film is shot over 2 weekends in March. Ethan recruits 3 other young drivers who have completed traffic diversion programs. They sit in a circle and talk about mistakes they made: speeding, texting, road rage. Ethan narrates his own story. "I cut off a 78-year-old veteran because I was in a hurry. I mocked him. I thought I was teaching him a lesson. I was wrong. He didn't need the lesson. I did." The film ends with Ethan speaking directly to the camera. "Respect travels faster than any car. Remember that next time you're behind the wheel." On March 28th, Ethan completes his 200th hour at the Veteran Support Office. Carol Jennings hands him a completion certificate and a handwritten note from Henry Cole. "Ethan, Carol told me you finished your hours. I'm glad. I've been watching from a distance. You showed up, you listened, you learned. That's all anyone can ask. Respect isn't inherited. It's earned through conduct. You're earning it. Henry." Ethan reads it twice, folds it carefully, and puts it in his wallet. Late March. Ethan sits at his laptop and begins writing his reflection essay. He types, deletes, rewrites. He spends 3 days on it. Excerpt from Status Can't Signal Kindness. "I thought my father's name gave me permission to treat people as obstacles. It didn't. When I cut off Henry Cole, I wasn't just breaking a traffic law. I was breaking a moral one. He served this country for 22 years. I served my own impatience for 22 seconds. When I told Officer Vega, 'Good luck with that,' I was mocking the idea that I could be held accountable. When I threw my citation at Judge Caprio and said my dad pays his salary, I weaponized wealth I didn't earn. The judge gave me a choice: prove I could learn or prove I couldn't. I chose to learn. I spent 200 hours at the Veteran Support Office. I met men and women who sacrificed more than I'll ever understand. I apologized to Henry Cole face to face. I told high school students the truth about what I did. I made a film about respect because I didn't have any when this started. Status can't signal kindness. Wealth can't buy character. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by how you treat people when no one's watching, when you're in a hurry, when you think you're more important than the person in front of you. I'm 23. I have a long way to go. But I know this now. The fastest car in traffic is worthless if the driver has no respect for the road." Final word count: 1,000 words exactly. Submitted April 2nd. 6 months after the original hearing, Ethan Ward returns to Providence Municipal Court for his final review. It's a Tuesday morning. Same courtroom, same bench, but this time Ethan arrives alone. No attorney, no father, no entourage. Judge Caprio enters. Everyone rises. Case 2025 TR 9826. Return hearing. Mr. Ward, you're here for final review. Are you ready? Yes, Your Honor. I've reviewed your compliance file. 200 hours completed at the Veteran Support Office. 3 public talks delivered. Short film produced and approved. Written reflections submitted. Apology delivered to Henry Cole in person. Miss Reyes, is everything documented? Yes, Your Honor. All requirements met. Henry Cole submitted a written statement for the record. Read it, Miss Reyes reads aloud. Ethan Ward apologized to me in person. He didn't make excuses. He didn't hide behind his father's name. He explained what he learned and why he was wrong. I've watched his progress through Carol Jennings at the Veteran Support Office. He showed up. He worked. He listened. He apologized like a man, not a brand. I forgive him. The courtroom is silent. Judge Caprio looks at Ethan. Mr. Ward, summarize what you learned. Ethan stands. Your Honor, I learned that wealth doesn't grant permission to disrespect people. I learned that veterans like Henry Cole earned their place on the road long before I was born. I learned that when I mocked him, I disrespected 22 years of service. I learned that my father's money can't erase my mistakes. I learned that respect isn't something you inherit. It's something you earn by how you treat people, especially when you think no one's watching. I threw a ticket at your bench because I thought my last name made me untouchable. It doesn't. I'm grateful you didn't let me believe that lie. Judge Caprio nods. Officer Vega submitted a statement as well. Officer, you're in the gallery. Would you like to read it yourself? Officer Rafael Vega stands. Yes, Your Honor. I wrote Ethan Ward was dismissive and mocking during the traffic stop. He laughed at accountability. 6 months later, I received a handwritten apology from him explaining what he learned. It wasn't required. He sent it anyway. He learned that silence drives better than ego. I respect that. Judge Caprio picks up a pen and signs a form. Mr. Ward, you've completed every requirement with integrity. I'm waiving the suspended $400. You still owe the $580 base fine, payable in installments. Your case is closed. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me. Thank Henry Cole. Thank Carol Jennings. Thank Officer Vega. Thank the people who taught you what your father's money couldn't buy. Yes, Your Honor. 3 months later, the reforms take effect. The first quarterly courtroom civility audit is published on June 15th, documenting 4 incidents of disrespect in Providence Municipal Court over the past 3 months. All 4 cases resulted in additional fines and mandatory conduct training. The report is posted on the court's public website. The security camera release policy is adopted. Footage showing reckless driving or harassment of vulnerable road users is now available under Rhode Island's open records laws. Emergency response times improved by 11% in the first 6 months. Courtroom conduct training is implemented. A 10-minute orientation video shown to all first-time defendants under age 30. Post-training surveys show 87% of defendants demonstrate improved understanding of court procedures. The Veteran Respect Initiative is added to Rhode Island's driver education curriculum. All new drivers now complete a 15-minute module explaining the importance of patience and courtesy toward elderly drivers, particularly veterans. The module includes Ethan's short film, Respect on the Road. 1 year after the hearing, Judge Frank Caprio receives an envelope at the courthouse. No return address. Plain, white paper inside, handwritten. Your Honor, I wanted you to know I'm still volunteering at the Veteran Support Office. I'm not required to anymore. I choose to. Last month, Henry Cole called me and asked if I'd help him teach a digital literacy class for elderly veterans. I said yes. We taught 12 veterans how to use the VA's online portal. One of them, a Vietnam vet named Robert, told me afterward, "You're nothing like the kid who yelled at Henry on Main Street." I told him that kid learned his lesson. I'm grateful you gave me the chance to learn it. My father's money could have bought me out of that ticket. It couldn't buy me the respect I earned over 200 hours of service. Thank you for teaching me the difference. Respectfully, Ethan Ward. Judge Caprio files the letter in the case folder. He writes a single note in his bench book. He threw a ticket and caught a lesson. 20 years after the hearing, Ethan Ward, now 43, stands in the same courtroom where it all began. He's been invited to speak to a group of young defendants participating in a restorative justice program. 20 years ago, I stood where you're standing. I threw a traffic citation at Judge Frank Caprio and told him my father paid his salary. I was wrong. I was arrogant. I thought wealth gave me permission to disrespect people. He walks to the bench. Judge Caprio didn't raise his voice. He didn't shame me. He didn't let my father's money erase my mistake. He gave me a choice. Prove I could learn, or prove I couldn't. He turns to face the group. I chose to learn, and that choice changed my life. Ethan tells them about Henry Cole, about the 200 hours of service, about the apology, about the film, about the reforms that came from one case. Judge Caprio taught me that justice isn't about punishment. It's about restoration. It's about turning mistakes into lessons. It's about separating status from conduct. It's about giving people a chance to prove they can change. He pauses. You're here because you made a mistake. You have a choice. You can minimize it. You can blame someone else. You can expect your family to fix it. Or you can own it, learn from it, and transform it into something meaningful. A young woman raises her hand. Did you ever see Judge Caprio again after your case? Ethan smiles. Every year on the anniversary of my hearing, I visit his home. I bring him a copy of the latest statistics. How many students have seen the film? How many states have adopted the Veteran Respect Initiative? How many lives have been changed by restorative accountability? What does he say? He says the same thing every time. You threw a ticket and caught a lesson. Now you're teaching others to catch theirs. The Veteran Respect Initiative has been adopted by 17 states. Ethan's short film has been viewed by over 340,000 student drivers nationwide. The Providence Veteran Support Office reports a 43% increase in youth volunteers, many citing Ethan's story as inspiration. Henry Cole, now 80 years old, continues to drive carefully on Main Street. Ethan Ward serves as Director of Community Restorative Programs for the Rhode Island Department of Veterans Affairs. In the Providence Municipal Court Archives, case number 2025-TR9826, sits in a file marked Restorative Justice Model Cases. At the very bottom, a handwritten note from Judge Frank Caprio dated the day he retired. He threw a ticket and caught a lesson. That's all any judge can hope for. Justice measured, morals on the record. Status separated from conduct. Influence documented, not rewarded. Truth preserved. 12 seconds changed a life.